Good evening, my dear students. You all warmly welcome for the third part of exam-focused question of lesson number 15, Counseling Skill, under the course um, Sociology and Psychology. So basically, in the prior section, part 2, we have discussed about exam-focused question on lesson number 14. At the same time, I have shown two videos. The first video clearly explained what is meant by counseling and what kind of qualities should possess by a good counselor. As well as in that video, it has explained the difference between counseling and psychotherapy. And from the second video, it's like for your life because it explained why counseling is needed. So why people try to get the support from counseling. Likewise, for your life, that video has been shared. So now, this is the 20th session, last session of your course. So therefore, actually, I have already explained the structure of the paper as well at the very first beginning of this today's lesson. And again, I would like to recall it. Your final paper examination comprised with 6 questions. 3 questions actually from psychology, 2 questions from sociology, and 1 question from counseling. So out of these 6 questions, you are required to answer only 5. So 1 question carries 20 marks, 20 into 5, 100 marks will be awarded. Since I have give you an assignment, so later on we'll convert that marks into like as we agreed in the course outline. But anyhow, in addition to that, actually your exam paper is comprised of 6 questions, and exam paper has been split into 3 parts, part A, part B, and part C. Under part A, 3 questions on psychology, part B, 2 questions on sociology, and 1 question, part C, it comprised with 1 counseling question. So even though there are 3 parts, you are required to select at least 1 question from each part. ඒ කියන්නේ කොටස් තුනක් තිබෙට කොටස් තුනෙන් ආමෝෂණ එක ප්‍රශ්නයක් තෝරාගෙන මුළු ප්‍රශ්න 5කට පිළිතුරු සපයනවා. So at least you are required to select 3 questions from each part. In addition to that, you can select the remaining 2 questions as you wish. Since there are 2 remaining from psychology, 1 remaining from sociology, out of 3, you can select 2. It's up to you. Okay, so therefore, please do remember that is the structure of the paper. And normally for 1 question, like maximum, I'll give 4 questions, 4 or 3. Okay, maximum 4. But please do remember, since I have given you exam focused question based on 15 lesson, I strongly believe that you may have already answered and you checked your answer with my answer, what I have discussed with you throughout this lecture series. Then you know where you are lacking, what is your standard. So therefore, I believe that you can bridge the gap in between your answer and my answer. Okay, so if you can nicely provide a good answer for the given question, no doubt you can get an A pass for this course. This course is not difficult, but your commitment, your dedication should be there. So if, or let's say, if there are 100 students, if they done their level best, if all answered well, no worries at all, I'll give full marks. Okay, I'll give full marks. I'll give A grade for all the students. I never discriminate. I never degrade your grade, even though all have achieved a good part. Okay, it's not a problem for me, honestly. Okay. Let's discuss lesson number 15, counseling skills. Okay, when we talk about counseling skills, the first question, 5 marks have been avoided. Counseling is given advice. Comment on this statement. Actually, I have said you several times that counseling is not giving advices. Okay, so then what is meant by counseling? Counseling is like it's like building relationship with counselor and the client. And what is the purpose? Not giving advice, but counselor try to empower client to accomplish mental health and wellness, education, and career goals. Simply, what counselor try to do is counselor try to enhance the self-awareness of the problem in client. So always help client to understand the question very well. So look at the question from different perspective. Okay, and will help to find the root cause for the problem, and always try to empower where she strong, where she is weak. Then once she has realized her potentiality, when she aware about her strength and weaknesses, eventually then she will try to find a very good solution for the given problem. So therefore, counseling is not giving advice. It like helping client to find a very good solution for the first piece of a problem. And basically, counselor try to do is to empower the particular client to find the best solution out of the bunch. Okay, so in order to earn 5 marks, my dear students, you are required to write at least 5 points. It's necessary. It's really necessary. You can write many more things. Like if you sensitive to the component of the definition of the counseling, it nicely explained. So it nicely explained what counseling does truly. So therefore, by being sensitive to the given question, given the definition or a very comprehensive definition of counseling, you can understand it is not giving advice. It just try to empower the client to create self-awareness in him. About what? About the problem. For what? To find the best solution. So, but when once they have selected the best solution, then counselor help client to draw a very good plan. Okay. Individual counseling differ from group counseling. Justify your answer with example. Justify your answer with example. So therefore, try to understand there are two parts in the question. You have to justify as well as you have to provide example. So 6 marks have been provided for 3 marks for the justification, remaining 3 marks for the exam. Okay, so please take that point into account. So when I'm marking examination paper, I have seen several times students did not provide example. They kept it for me. So I never give example. So therefore, if you did not provide an example, it's like you are going to lose your marks because of your own mistake. Okay, so justify your answer with example. So individual. So initially tell what is meant by individual counseling. Then tell what is group counseling. Then you can compare these two. And then you can find a very good solution. So okay, simply individual counseling happens in between counselor and the client. Okay, individual counseling is the most common type. Common type in one to one. Common type that focuses on an individual growth and mental health. Therefore, it's like, through individual counseling, actually, you may don't worry. Means did not provide a very comprehensive definition for individual counseling. No. Since I have provided counseling definitions, you have to apply the word here. Let's say, individual counseling is building relationship with one individual. You can create your own definition. Since you know the comprehensive definition for counseling, it's called creativity. That creativity is needed for the degree level. Okay. So individual counseling happens in between one person to another person. So therefore, get this definition of the counseling and try to tailor-made it according to the answer. Okay. Question. So like individual counseling is a building relationship, one individual and one counselor, and and counselor try to empower. Actually, always one counselor is there. Okay. So therefore, only one counselor, it's like, let's say like this. Individual counseling is building relationship with one individual, one client, and empower that client to accomplish mental health and wellness and education about the problem and help to establish career goal if it is necessary. And it's a very collaborative relationship between counselor and the client. So likewise, then when we talk about group counseling, it's like the same definition you can write in a different way. So group counseling is a building relationship with many individuals, many clients, and empower them to accomplish mental health and wellness, education and career goal. And it's a collaborative relationship between counselor and the set of clients. Again, එකනේ පුතේ දැන් definition එක දීලා තියෙනවා නම් counseling වලට individual කියන වචනේ අඩු නම් වෙන්නේ එක client කෙනෙක් එක්ක. Group counseling කෙනෙක් වුණාම ඒක වෙන්නේ clients ලා කිහිප දෙනෙක් එක්ක. ඒතකොට මේ definition එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ දන්නවනම් ඒකට ගැලපෙන තැන්වලදී ඔය එක පුද්ගලයා සහ පුද්ගල කිහිපයක් කියන එක ඔබ වන්න පුළුවන් වෙනුනේ ඔබට. ඒ නිර්මාණශීලීත්වය අත්‍යවශ්‍යයි ඔබ ප්‍රශ්නකට උත්තර ලියද්දී. එහෙනම් හිතන්න එපා මේ individual counseling වෙනම දෙනවා group counseling වෙනව නැහැ. Counseling දුන්නම පුතාට ලියන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ මොකක්ද individual counseling, what is group counseling කියන. That knowledge is required. It's called creativity. You have to put required icing to the question, and not the question, answer, And since you have already know what is counseling, okay? And don't believe that always we are spoon feeding, it won't be happen. Oh, it cannot be done as well, okay? It cannot be done. Exactly, it cannot be done. Then individual, when you write what is individual counseling, if you write what is group counseling, then it does not show the difference, just two definitions from your point of view. But if you want to show the difference between these two, you can, like, once you given the definition wise difference, then you can tell, like, individual counseling happens in between counsel and a single client, but group counseling happens in between counsel and a set of clients. Okay, so another difference you can write, because three differences required, because 3 marks have been allocated for the justification and 3 marks for the example. Okay, then another difference you can write down, through individual counseling, counselor try to empower an individual client about that, means try to create self-awareness about the problem in an individual client. But in group counseling, counselor try to enhance the awareness of the problem among the set of clients. Okay, so then after example, when you write example, when we write example, like you have to give 2 separate examples for individual counseling and group counseling. It's necessary, Puti. Let's say when you recall that Devika story, it's individual counseling. Let's say when we talk about workplace environment, if a set of group, like let's say sewing machine operators, or if not the ironing section employees, if not the button fixing department of the fabric, or like in the if it is a apparel sector, like button fixing section employees, if their performance is gradually declined, then we can, if so, when we discuss with them, we have realized that they are not really happy with their supervisor. So we have invited counselor to get to help the particular set of employees. In that case, if counselor went near to that button fixing employees, it's like group counseling. Then that particular counselor try to enhance the enhance the awareness of the reality of the problem among the button fixing employees, and discuss and try to empower them to have a very good mental wellness education about the problem, etc. Okay, so likewise, when you are providing example, it should be a reasonable example. I highly appreciate if you can provide from a workplace context, but if not, if you take it from day-to-day activities or daily activities, it doesn't matter for me. Okay, so why I told, because it's a business management business, like it's like business management degree or diploma. That's why I said it's better to get an example from workplace context. Okay, so likewise, when a question has been given, please be sensitive to the action verb plus marks. Okay, so since in this question there are 2 parts, like justify and example, so therefore 3 marks for each section separately will be awarded. Okay, family counseling is similar to marriage counseling. Comment, 4 marks. So therefore, since 4 marks have been given, from definition wise, we can tell what is family counseling, what is marriage counseling. But if you write only what is family counseling, what is marriage counseling, you can earn only 2 marks. Other than that, you have to write down another characteristic. So simply family counseling is, it involved with different familial dynamics and how they affect the family structure. Like let's say how if father is not doing his responsibilities well, if mother is not responsible towards their children, if children are not supportive for their parents, if children have been abused by somebody else, if children has been arrested by parents, likewise in that scenario, it's like familial dynamics happen and how they affect the family structure. Family structure being there is a relationship between mother, father and children. That for that type of relationship, if some problem happens or occur, or if the family structure is badly affected because of the problem, then definitely we have to go for family counseling. But marriage counseling or couple counseling is not like that. It focuses on assisting couples. Couples mean girl and boy, or husband and wife, or fiancé and fiancée. Okay, then focus on assisting couples in overcoming conflict and working towards a stronger relationship. So sometimes marriage counseling mean like after marriage they go for counseling. They don't have children. But some couples are going before marriage, they also go for counseling. Like if they want to make their relationship much more stronger, and if there are many more conflicts happening between the fiance and fiancé, therefore in that scenario also they go for couple counseling. It is good. So therefore, definition wise, you can show the difference. Beyond that, you can tell family counseling focus on the issues which directly happen the family structure. But marriage counseling, it assists couple to overcome conflict arising between both parties. ජෝඩුවක් විදිහට ඔවුන්ට ඇතිවන ගැටලු වලට උත්තර හොයනවා. නමුත් ෆැමිලි කවුන්සිලින් වලදී කරන්නේ පවුලේ ආකෘතියට බලපෑමක් ඇති කරන. අම්මගේ තාත්තගේ භූමිකාවට, දරුවන්ගේ භූමිකාවට හානියක් කරන යම්කිසි ප්‍රශ්නයක් එනවා නම් ඒ ප්‍රශ්න උත්තර ලියන්න හොයන්න මේ ෆැමිලි කවුන්සිලින් යන්නේ. Okay, so anyhow, couple counseling, family counseling, all it like group. It's like since more than one individual, it can go for group type of group counseling. Okay, so likewise, at least in order to earn 4 marks, you have to show 2 differences between. So definition wise, one mark for each category. Another difference should be shown to earn another 2 marks. Okay, so counseling is a process and not a one-time effort. Justify your answer. Counseling is a process. I have told you, like counseling is it is a process. It comprised with different steps. Okay, so therefore it's not a one-time effort. Since it comprised with different stages, you have to have a very good understanding about all these stages separate. Okay, it's a must requirement. Okay, then when we are discussing the steps, like initially you have to tell, yeah, counseling is not a one-time game. It's a process. It's a lengthy process. According to the severity of the problem, the lengthiness of the time will be decided. Likewise, you have to tell. And I have discussed with you why counseling is a process, since there are few steps involved with counseling. Like why counseling is a process. In page number 2 handout, it comprised with 6 important steps. It has an opening for the process. So like since 7 marks have been given, it's better to explain these 6 steps in a very nutshell manner. Nutshell mean in a very simple manner you are required to explain. Like opening, like it's then opening. Second one is exploring client understanding. Third one is understanding. Fourth one is intervention. Fifth step is exploring problem. And sixth one is empower to create own solution. So since 7 marks given like using one or two sentences, please try to explain each step. It's necessary. So like under opening, the opening process is one of the most essential part of the interaction with your client. It's a chance to get to know your client and for them to get to know who you are. You can remember Devika's story. Initially, that counselor introduced who is she, how she can help. And as well as then client, Devika as a client, she explained who is she. So therefore, in order to have a very good relationship, in order to start the relationship between, like professional relationship between counselor and the client, opening is really required rather than straight away start the process. Okay, exploring client understanding. Okay, ඔගොල්ලෝ මතකද දේවිකාගේ ස්ටෝරි කියනවා මම නිශාමි. මම වෘත්තියෙන් මනෝපදේශිකා. මට පුළුවන් ඔයාගේ ප්‍රශ්න උදව් කරන්න. ඔයා කියන දේවල් වල රහස්‍යභාවය සහ පෞද්ගලිකත්වය ආරක්ෂා කරන්න මම වෘත්තියෙන් බැඳී සිටිනවා. Likewise, she is nicely explained. And exploring client understanding. The second step is it's an exploration process is where you will begin to understand your client. You will explore their past and evaluate their current concerns. So basically from exploring client understanding, please underline in your handout, you try to explore the past, what was happened, as well as where they are right now. That means their current situation. So basically based on that, based on that past and current concern, then counsel is not going to establish goals, but basically counselor can think what kind of goals required to sort out this problem. Then understanding, simply it's like developing a solid relationship. Now, initially at the opening, there was no such relationship, but under understanding, try to develop a very solid relationship with your client. You can demonstrate your understanding by using a non-verbal and verbal cues. ඉතින් ඔබ ප්‍රශ්න තේරුම් ගත්තා කියලා අනිත් client පෙන්වන්න පුළුවන් අවස්ථාවක් මේ understanding. You can do reflection. You can do paraphrasing. So reflection, paraphrasing are the techniques or strategies that you can be shown to show that you are really understood the issue. And intervention. Intervention means fourth step. It's like it's a process is about choosing the appropriate counseling technique. So when you're going to intervene as a counselor to this problem, you try to select which method is very appropriate, whether you are going to discuss with her spouse or whether you are going to give like show roadmap to the Devika and she's the one who initiate all the activities. So likewise, you can decide the what type of intervention is required in between you and client. Then exploring problem. Like when you try to explore the problem, it's like learning more about your client and why they have come to counseling. So exploration is necessary to understand client's thoughts and feelings concerning their pressing problem. So simply under exploring problem, you try to deeply understand the question. Since you know about it merely, but through exploring problem, you try to get the very deep idea. Then A to Z understanding can be taken from exploring problem. So at the final step, empowered to create own solution. Own solution be client's own solution. So finally, you should empower your client and show from where you are strong, from where you are weak. That means basically we have to show the strength and weaknesses of the client. Okay, and providing all and simply empowering them with your counseling skill to find the best solution. So simply developing practical counseling skill may benefit range of professions and career, like they help build trust, establish rapport, and promote active listening. So simply when you try to empower, you always empower client to find the best solution according to her plan. Okay, and you show where she is strong, where she is weak. Then you should provide required courage her to proceed with. Okay, so that's therefore it takes time. It like according to the nature of the problem, it's like 2 months, 1 month, 3 months, or maybe 5 months, 6 months, etc. Okay, so according to the speed of the client to absorb the reality of the problem, according to the speed of the client to build self-awareness, according to the speed of the client. That means whether she decide whether she like to empower or not. Likewise, that speed really matter to create an own solution. Therefore, the lengthiness of the process will be totally based on the ability of the counsel as well as client. But definitely, client should understand the issue in a very polite manner as well as a correct manner in a sufficient facts to find a very good solution. It takes time. Then empowering them to create solution is very much needed at the end of the counseling process. Empowering them. In here, empowering means empowering the client. When we try to empower the particular person, she knows her strength and weaknesses. On the other hand, when she knows where she is strong, where she is weak, then she's really happy with her situation. Okay, as well as she know the problem very well, and she know what she has what went wrong in the past, what kind of mistakes she has committed in the past period. So that understanding is required. So once that understanding has been acquired by the client, then it's easy for counselor to empower the particular person. දැන් පුද්ගලයෙකුණත් එයාගේ වැරදි තේරුම් ගන්නවා නම්, එයා කරපු වැරදියා හරියට තේරුම් ගන්නවා නම් මොකද වෙන්නේ? නිරායාසයෙන්ම මොකද වෙන්නේ? එයා නිරායාසයෙන්ම පිළිගන්නවා එයා මොකක්ද අතීතයේ කරපු වැරදි. එයා කොතනද එයාට වැරදුනේ? එයා කොයි විදිහටද වැරදි විදිහට හැසිරුනේ? ඒ දේ එයා තේරුම් ගත්තම එයාට වැරදිද දේවල් එයාගේ ශක්තියින් දුර්වලතා තේරුම් ගත්තම අපිට පුළුවන් තව කෙනෙක්ව බල ගන්නවන්න. ඔයා එහෙම තේරුම් ගත්ත එක වටින් දැන් ඔයාට තේරෙනද ඔයා කොච්චර වැරදි කරලා තියෙනවද? නමුත් හිතන්න එපා ඒ වගේ නමතක් කරන්න දැන් ඉඳලා ඔයාට පුළුවන් මේකට හොඳ සොලියුෂන් එකක් හොයාගන්න. You know you are really strong from this aspect. You have that courage. This is ධෛර්යමත් කරන්න අගය කරන්න client. Because why? She is the person who are going to select the best solution out of the box. Not only that, she is the person who is going to implement her plan into action. So therefore, even though you have provided required assistance, but you don't believe that process is closed. Until she resolve the problem, you have to stay with her, stay with him. හරි යා හොඳම විසම තෝරගත්තා. හරි දැන් මම යාව පැහැදිලි කරලා තියෙන යා හොඳ දක්ෂ කොතනද? යා දුරට මොකද හරකට ආවයි කියලා යන්න බෑ. එයාගේ ප්‍රශ්නේ විසඳනකම වරින් වර ඉඳලා එයාගේ කතා කරගෙන දැන් මොකද දේවිකා ඔයා කරන්නේ? දැන් මොකද කරන්නේ? දැන් කොහොමද තත්ත්වය කියලා වරින් වර ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න ඕනේ. over the telephone or sometime physically meeting required, sometime observation required. සමහරවිට දේවිකාට කියන්න නැතුව ඔයා ගිහින් බලන අවස්ථා තියෙන්නට පුළුවන්. in an ethical manner, සදාචාර සම්පන්නව. ඒකයි මම කියන්නේ counseling is not a short process. It's a long process. Until she tells my problem is over, I'm really satisfied with the current situation. It is the place where you can stop your counseling process. It is the place where you can stop. So therefore, empowering is really hard. හරි නිසි අවබෝධය කියන එක නැත්තම් තමාගේ ප්‍රශ්නය කෙරෙහි තමා ඉන්න තැන තමා කරපු දේවල් පිළිබඳ අරගෙන අර පාපෝච්චාරණයක්. තමන් කරපු වැරදි පාපෝච්චාරණය කරනවා වගේ තමන් කරපු වැරදි තේරුම් ගත්තම තමයි පුතේ අපිට කෙනෙක්ව empower කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. Empowering them to create solution is very much needed at the end of the counseling process. 5 marks. Discuss 3 counseling skills with their prerequisites. So actually there are different counseling skills. Actually in your handout I have listed only 10 here, but apart from that I don't know whether you can remember when I was shown the videos I asked you to list down any other skills. So discuss 3, not list, not write, not ask, name, just discuss. So therefore clear explanation is required, deep explanation is required because 9 marks have been awarded, 3 marks for each skill. Attending, use of silence, reflecting and paraphrasing, clarifying and the use of question, focusing, then building rapport, genuineness, unconditional positive regards, counselor self-disclosure, listening and summarizing. Okay, so when you actually I have even though the list of skills are in page number 2 and 3, all these skills in a detailed manner, like not a very deep manner, but like I have explained all these skills in page number 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, so you can refer them. So like since 3 marks have been awarded, like for under each skill you are required to write at least two points. Since understanding 3 skills will be awarded 3 marks, another 2 marks for each category will be awarded if you write only like at least 2 points or maximum like 2 or 3 required to give marks. ඒ වාක්‍ය දෙක තුනක් ලියන්නකො මේ දෙක තුනක් නිකන් වල්පල් ලියලා හරියන්නේ නැහැ. ගැළපෙන දෙයක් අදාළ දෙයක් හරිම පෝෂණීය පිළිතුරු ටිකක් ලැබෙන්න අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. Like when under attending, like let's say attending is important කියලා කිව්ඩක් නැහැ. Attending important කියලා අපි දන්න නිසා නේ skill එක identify කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Attending කොහොමද වෙන්නේ? It's like it's ability to physically present for the client. It means giving them your undivided attention, making appropriate eye contacts, mirroring body language, and nodding head is required. Like these are the this is some example for attending. The practice of counseling is maintaining eye contacts, body language, your counselor's body language and gestures, and counselors maintaining good facial expressions throughout the process. Acting genuinely when you have to show that your facial expression should be genuine always. And your tone of voice. දැන් බලන්න නිශාම්ගේ කතාවේදී යාගේ එයා කටහඬ මොනතරම් සෞම්‍යද කියලා. එයා හරි arrogant නෑ, aggressive නෑ. එයා කටහඬ හරිම සෞම්‍යයි, හරිම නිවිච්ච කටහඬක් තියෙන. So in here eye contact of the counselor, body language of the and gestures of the counselor, facial expression, tone of voice are really important to show as a counselor that you are giving your full attention for the particular client. Then use of silence. දැන් බලන්න නිශාමී case එකේදී most of the time she maintain silence. නිහඬභාවය කියන එක මෙතෙසිම අගය කරනවා. Silence can be mighty in the process space, encouraging a patient or client to control the dialogue and determine the pace. So simply flow of feeling and projection of thoughts can assist in building a trusting, supportive relationship. Using silence as a counseling skill also essential for the counselor as well as providing validation to particular client. Silence offer an opportunity for counselor to thoughtfully consider what has been communicated and how they respond in the most vivid and constructive way possible. That is a very critical sentence in that explanation. Again, I will tell you. like counselor, like simply silence offer an opportunity for counselor to thoughtfully consider what has been communicated. නිහඬභාවය කියන එක උපදේශකයෙකුට අවස්ථාව සම්පාදනය කරනවලු යම්කිසි දෙයක් හරියට හොඳට හිතලා බලලා sannivedanaya කරන්න. නිහඬ වෙනකොට අපිට අනිත් කෙනා කියන කරන දේවල් හොඳට ඔබ්සර්ව් කරලා ඔළුවට ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඉතින් අපිට තේරෙනවා අපි මොනවද කතා කරන්න ඕනේ. මොනවද කතා කරන්න ඕනේද thoughtful mind එකකින්. හොඳ දැනුමකින් අපි මොනවද කතා කළ යුත්තේ නැත්තේ කියලා අපි තීරණය කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම ක්ලයන්ට් ලබා දෙන උත්තර වලට හොඳට ඉවසීමෙන් හරිම විදිහටම ප්‍රතිචාර දක්වන්න පුළුවන්. That means we try to respond the view of the client in a very constructive way. එයාව ගොඩනැගීමේ අරමුණෙන් එයාට ප්‍රතිචාර දක්වන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ නිසා ඒ ජීවිතයේ ඒ අවස්ථාව විතරක් නෙවෙයි ජීවිතයේ ඕනම අවස්ථාවකදී නිහඬ බව කියන එක අත්‍යවශ්‍ය කාරණා. අපිට හොඳට හිතලා බලලා උත්තර දෙන්න පුළුවන්. හොඳට හිතලා බලලා කතා කරන්නේ මොනවද කියලා තීරණය කරන්න පුළුවන්. If you write that points, definitely you can earn 2 marks. Actually, it's in the last sentence of the given explanation of your handout. It's in page number 4. Okay. Discuss. Next one is reflecting and paraphrasing. So, successfully mastering reflecting and paraphrasing techniques is one of the most essential skill. That ability to repeat and feed a short version of the client story to the illustration understand. අපි කියන්නේ අපි තේරුම් ගත්ත දේ අපි රිෆ්ලෙක්ට් කරනවා. මම තේරුම් ගත්ත දේ මෙන්න මේ දේ. හරි නේද? ඒ දේ කියන එක කන්ෆර්ම් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. paraphrasing කියලා කියන්නේ client කියපු දේ ඒ වචන වලින්ම කියන්න හොඳ නෑ. ඔයා තේරුම් අරගෙන කවුන්සලර් කෙනෙක් විදිහට ඔයාගේ වචන වලින් ඔයා කියන්න ඕනේ why in order to confirm whether the counselor's understanding is true and accurate. So reflection and paraphrasing very important. They like feeling reflection, restating, affirmation. So likewise, there are many more. Discuss 3 counseling skills. Then another one is clarifying and use of question. So we have to use like closed and open question, but in most of the time it's better to ask open-ended question. Never ask why. Why type of question අපි අහන්නේ closed ඒවා අපි අහන්නෙත් නෑ yes no උත්තර. But always we give open-ended question. ඔයාගේ අදහස දක්වන්න. ඔයා මේ විදියට හිතන්නේ කියලා අර අපි කියන්නේ ගොඩක් ඇයි කියනටද මට ඔයාගේ අදහස ඒ පිළිබඳව දක්වන්න. ආදී වශයෙන් you can give open-ended question. Then focusing. So when working with client in counseling and psychotherapy, it's essential to utilize focusing technique to help establish the core issues to concern. හිතන්න client නිකන් වටේ යනවා වගේ තේරෙනවා focus කරලා එයාව හරි තැනට ගන්න පුළුවන්. You should be able to brought her back to the track when it is needed. And building rapport. In here, since there is a professional relationship between counselor and the client, so you through using this professional relationship, you are required to develop a trusting relationship with client. දැන් ඒ දේවිකගේ ස්ටෝරි එකේදී මම ඉදත් කිව්වේ මුලදී යා හරි බයෙන් ආවට නිශාමි ළඟට පස්සේ යා හරි confidence පිට කතා කරනවා. දෙවෙනි දවසේ බලන්න second day right it has a very good rapport in between that trusting relationship is there. It's really important. Then genuineness. Begin genuinely like හැමතිස්සෙම genuine කියන්නේ අව්‍යාජව කතා කරන්න. client උනත් අව්‍යාජව කතා කරන මට්ටමට counselor ගේන්න ඕනි. counselorත් එයාගේ හිත වෙන තැනක ගත මෙතන කියලා එහෙම ඉන්න බෑ. බුරුට ඔළුව හලවලඩක් නෑ. ඒකටම එයා ජීවමානව ඒ අවස්ථාවේදී එයා ඉන්නට අවශ්‍ය වෙනවා. අව්‍යාජව එයාගේ අදහස් එයාගේ මූණ ඉරියව් eye contacts තියා ගන්න ඕනේ. එකක් හිතේ තියාගෙන එකක් කතා කරන්නට බෑ. So genuineness of the counselor is really important. Now, unconditional positive regards, like we accept the client as she is. එයා තියෙන විදිහට එයා මොන වැරද්ද කරත් එයා මේ මට්ටමකදී එයා ඔයාගේ උදව්වක් ගන්නාම නම් we should help the particular person to get rid of that burden. එයා criticize කරන්න, එයාව අපහසුතාවයටපත් කරන්න, ලැජ්ජාවටපත් කරන්න, මානසිකව වටන්න, අකුල් හෙලන්න, අපහාස කරන්න හොඳ නැහැ. It's not good. 9th skill is counselor self-disclosure. There are instances where you have to disclose your private information to the counselor. ඒ කියන්නේ එතනදී තර අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට කියන්නේ එයාගේ private information වලට සමහර වෙලාවට අර ඇත්ත යථාර්ථයේ ප්‍රශ්න පිළිබඳ client ගෙන් ලබා ගන්න personal information එයාට කියන්න වෙන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි ඒකේදී extreme වලට යන්න හොඳ නැහැ. නමුත් there are some instances where you have to disclose yourself as a counselor even though you are maintaining a professional relationship between you and her. Next one is listening. So under listening is the one of the most valuable counseling skill. Like it's basically in your handout, we have discussed what is active listening, what is verbal listening. So active listening is you are listening with your body, heart, ears, eyes, and mouth. But verbal listening is like it's a form of showing you are listening through the words that you are used. These verbal cues, simply verbal listening means verbal cues. Yes. Okay, of course. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Very good. Likewise, if that kind of verbal cues are provided, then client think that yes, she is fully focusing and listening to my story. That's why she is giving yes, go on, go forward, carry on. So likewise, those are the example for verbal listening. But active listening means through your eye contacts, through your body gestures, and through your body language, gestures, your mouth, ears, eyes, all are actively involved with the process. Final skill is summarizing. So when we talk about summarizing, it's like professional counselor always outline and interpret, like simply always give a very good summary of the entire session. So you can remember at the end of the first session, session had with Nishami and Devika, Nishani nice as a counselor nicely summarized the discussion of the first session at the end of the day. So she said, so we have discussed this. So this was thing. I understood this. She reflects and she confirmed whether the understanding is correct or wrong. And if there are other things needed to be added, like if add-ons are needed, then after then counselor tell what they are going to do in the next session as well. Session plan for the next session also reveal under summarizing. අපි දෙවන දවසේ මොනවද කරන්න කියලා තිෂාමි ලස්සට පැහැදිලි කරනවා. So likewise, since you know to earn 3 marks, you are required to provide very good point should be written. දැන් කියන්න එපා point එකක් විදිහට summarizing important in the ඒ වගේ ලකුණු හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Summarizing කියන එකෙදි මොකක්ද කරන්නේ? Summarize කියන්නේ entire session එක summarize කරනවා. අනිත් දවසේ කතා කරන දේ පිළිබඳ summarize කරනවා. ඒ වගේම එතනදී reflection කියන දේ එන්නට පුළුවන්. So you have to tell it nicely. Then why it is needed to ask open-ended question in the counseling process than closed-ended question. So when we are asking closed-ended question, like it's like limiting the client to give idea. That closed-ended කියන ඔයා ඒ දෙයට කැමති නැද්ද? No, I don't like. So you cannot, as a counselor, you cannot get a very good idea. But when you give open-ended question, then okay, Satpurusha may it's like open-ended question. When you ask open-ended question, you can collect many more information about the problem. And because as a client, she is explaining all the things. Attending is the first counseling micro skill. A trainee counselor learns forming the basic of all other counseling skills. Justify your answer with example. So simply attending is the very foundation, the very foundation skill for counseling. So justify your answer with example. It's needed. Okay, you have to justify your answer with example. Okay, you have to justify your answer with example. 3 marks is not sufficient. Please correct it as 6 marks. So just ඔයගලගේ note එකේ තියෙන පොතේ attending වලට මම දීලා attending කියන එක මොකක්ද කියන එක නෙමෙයි පොතේ එතන පැහැදිලි කරන්න. Attending කියන එක කොහොමද counselor කෙනෙකුට අනිත් දේවල් වලට වැදගත් වෙන්නේ කියලා ලියන්න. The attending කියන එක explain කරලා ලකුණු හම්බෙන්නේ නැහැ. Why attending is a foundation skill for for the counseling process. Like if you attend well, then you know where you should maintain silence. ඔබ හොඳට අවධානය යොමු කරන් හිටියම ඔබට තේරෙනවා කොහොමද කොයි අවස්ථාවේද නිහඬ වෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා. Not only that, when you give proper attention, then you know where you have to reflect. It is the place where you do reflection. Then you know where you should use the appropriate question, where you should be show your unconditional positive regards, where you should self-disclosure happen, where you should summarize. අපි කොතනදද සාරාංශය දෙන්නේ, අපි කොතනදද මේ විවෘත ප්‍රශ්න අහන්නේ, අපි කොතනද රිෆ්ලෙක්ෂන් කරන්නේ, පැරාෆ්‍රේස් කරන්නේ, අපි කොතනින්ද මේ නිහඬ වෙන්නේ කියන තැන් පිළිබඳ අවබෝධය ගන්න පුළුවන් ඔබට හොඳින් කෙනෙක්ට අවධානය දෙන්න. ඒකයි අවධානය කියන එක අනිත් සියලුම කුසලතාවලට ෆවුන්ඩේෂන් ස්කිල් එක වෙන්නේ. හැබැයි ඒක example එකකිනුත් කියන්න ඕනේ. ඒතර example එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ ඒතර skill එක ඒ session එකේදී කියන්න ඕනේ. එතනදී ඉන්නකොට දැන් එයාට පුළුවන් counseling session එකේදී යාට silence කියන දේ, යාට නිහඬව කියන දේ තේරුම් ගන්න. එතකොට එයාගේ ගැටලුවේදී නිහඬ වෙන්න ඕන තැන් තේරුම් ගන්න. ආදී වශයෙන් you can provide a very simple example from the working context. What are the advantages can be drawn by summarizing a session as a counselor? So when we do summarizing, like it's like we can draw together the important points and make them clear. But වැදගත් points ටික එකතු කරලා ඊට පස්සේ හරිය පැහැදිලි කරන්න පුළුවන් අපි තේරුම් ගත දේ හරිද කියලා client. වැදගත් points එකතු කරන්න පුළුවන්. ඒ වගේම පැහැදිලි කරන්න පුළුවන් client අපි තේරුම් ගත දේ මොකක්ද කියලා. Second advantage of summarizing is review the session. You will review the entire session and you will briefly describe the most important points and say what could be covered the next time. එතන මම කලින් කොහොමද ඊළඟ session එකේදී මොනවද කතා කරන්න කියන එක අපිට justification එකක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්. So since 3 marks have been provided, what mean 1 2 3 දාලා ලියන්න විතරයි තියෙන්නේ. What is your name කියවම එකයි කියන්නේ what are the 3 qualities of a counselor. So like I draw together the important points, 1 point. Then summarizing help us to make the points clear to the client. Second one. Then third one is summarizing help us to tell what covered in the next time. 3. Okay. Then list the differences between empathy and sympathy. So when we talk about empathy and sympathy, actually in page number 7, it nicely explained. Like empathy is like you putting yourself in another shoe and try to see the world through their eyes. But sympathy is feeling what another person is going through, feeling the sadness a family is feeling from the loss of their children. So sympathy is like you are not going to see the world through others' eyes. But sympathy is you try to feeling what others person going through. අනිත් කෙනාට දැනෙන දේ ඔයාට අනිත් කෙනාට හිතෙන දේ ඔයා තේරුම් ගන්න උත්සාහ කරනවා. මරණයකට ගියාම එයාට දුක නම් ඔයාට දුකයි. That's empathy කියන්නේ එයාගේ shoe එකට බහැලා එයා මම වුණොත් මට කොහොමද දැනෙන්නේ කියලා කරනවා. It's somewhat very deep than sympathy. අපි කියන්නේ sympathy is temporary but empathy is long last. අපි වාහයකදී වුණත් අපි කෙනෙක්ව තෝරගන්නකොට එයාට කැමති වෙන්න ඕනේ අනුකම්පා සහගතව නෙවෙයි. අපි එයාට සංවේදනයේ. එයාගේ තැනට ගියොත් එයා හොඳ කෙනෙක් කියන එක මට තේරෙන්න ඕනේ. Or basically, the definition wise, you can show the difference, but you can say that sympathy is you try to understand other person's feel, but empathy is you try to put yourself to another shoe, the person's shoe. So likewise, you can show, in order to, because 3 marks for empathy, 3 marks for sympathy. So you can draw a table and take in different aspect, definition wise aspect, then like objective wise aspect. Then you can give 2 examples for empathy and sympathy. Like that way also you can earn marks. List a few careers that could benefit from counseling skills. There are like human resource professional, nursing, teaching, team leaders, managers, sport coaching. I have given in page number 8 few, but you can add more and more. Try to find more and more profession. Actually, counseling is required for each and every, most of the professions, especially health sector and education sector. Okay, so explain like list few careers, since 6 marks have been awarded, list 6 careers is much more sufficient. Counseling is a rewarding profession. Explain this statement with example. Counseling is a rewarding profession. In here, rewarding mean, my dear student, like in here, rewarding mean like as a person you will be rewarded. You will be rewarded because you finally you try to find out a solution for your problem. Beyond that point, I don't know whether you can remember under social inclusion we have discussed, you can help other person to get rid of the burden. Since through your counseling process, you acquired skills, knowledge, and strategies to deal with your problem. If that kind of problem happens in future, then you know how you have to deal with those problems, since already that incident was happened, since already you have gone for a counseling process. So therefore, since you have that skills, strategies, and education, then not only that, you will be rewarded. If that similar type of problem happens to your life, you can sort out that issue in a very easy manner, since you already went for counseling. Apart from that, you can help your loved ones who face the similar problem to sort out that means you can be a counselor next time if to help other person if that person encounter with similar problems here. That means both parties will be rewarded, you rewarded as well as your loved one will be rewarded, since you have gone for the counseling process. Okay, explain with this statement with example mean like you can take an example like the same example මොකක්hari වගේ වැඩ ප්‍රශ්නයක් වුණාම මේ ප්‍රශ්නට ඔයා උත්තරේ හොයාගත්තම මගේ ඒකේ ප්‍රශ්න තේරුම් ගත්තේ මගේ ස්ලෝකම මගේ තියෙන අලසකම කියලා ඊට පස්සේ ඒ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න මුහුණ දෙන ඔයාගේ යාළුවට වට වැඩපළේදී උදව් කරන්න පුළුවන් නෑ ඔයා එනර්ජටික් වෙන්න ඔයා මේ වගේ ටාගට් එකක් ගන්න මේ වගේ ස්පීඩ් අප් කරන්න උදේ නැගිටින්න වෙලාවට එන්න likewise you can give advices. State whether you agree with this statement and justify your answer. 3 marks and there are 5. Okay, 3 marks into 5 mean 3 marks, 1 mark whether you agree or not, then another 2 marks will be awarded for the explanation. Okay, if you agree, justify. If you disagree, justify. Good counselor skills are valuable in a professional sense and helpful when applied to day-to-day relationships. The same thing I have discussed with you, like when you have good counseling skills, it's really a benefit, agree with that statement, because as a person, you will be benefited from that kind of that things, because you can sort out your problems. And on the other hand, you can help other people to do their work in their day-to-day activities. It's like social inclusion happens. Then active listening is listening through the words that you use. Okay, but please do remember, active listening is not that. Active listening is because there is a significant difference between active listening and verbal listening. Active listening is you are listening with your body, heart, ears, eyes, and mouth. But verbal from your 5 senses. But verbal listening is you are listening through the verbal cues. වචන වලින් ඇහුම්කන් දීම කියලා කියන්නේ yes, go on, carry on, great, that kind of a verbal listening. So active listening is not listening through the words. Active listening is you are listening through your body, heart, ears, eyes, and mouth. Okay, answer is in page number 6. So therefore, you cannot agree with the second statement. Part C. To remain genuineness in all counseling techniques and verbal, non-verbal to remain genuine in all counseling techniques, verbal and non-verbal signals are really essential. Yes. Verbal and non-verbal signs. Verbal mean verbally you have to demonstrate that you are genuinely involved with the process, and as well as non-verbal signals like from your body language, from your gestures, you have to show that you are really joined with the process. Okay, therefore, to remain genuine, in order to be a genuine person, both verbal and non-verbal cues are really important. Therefore, you agree with the part C. Reflection includes confirming a client progress toward the goal and encourage them to do what is necessary. Yes, reflection includes confirming. But reflection mean under reflection, what you try to do is you try to reflect. If include for confirming a client progress towards a goal and encouraging them to do what is necessary. Actually, reflection, you cannot agree with that statement. Reflection includes like reflection is you accurately describe the client's state from their verbal and non-verbal cues. It's reflection. But from affirmation, what you try to do is you try to confirm a client progress toward a goal and encourage them to do what is necessary. So therefore, reflection not include confirming client progress. Reflection is totally different concept. It's like reflection is used in counseling to accurately describe the client state from their verbal and non-verbal cues. But like under affirmation, we try to confirm a client progress towards a goal and encouraging them to do what is necessary. Okay. So therefore, we cannot agree with part D. Using silence as a counseling skill also essential for the counselor. Yes, silence is really essential for a counselor. Like because when we talk about counseling, it is really important because the last sentence is the answer, because counseling offers an opportunity for counselor to thoughtfully consider what has been communicated and how to respond in the most vivid and constructive way possible. I have tell it before also. So therefore, counseling skill is very essential to understand thoughtfully how you should communicate, plus to respond respond to their client in a very constructive manner. Okay, that's all about the exam focused question on 15 lessons. So I have explained the structure of the paper as well, my dear students. Again, I will tell you 3 hours paper comprised with 6 essay type questions, but you are required to answer only 5. Each question carry 20 marks. 20 marks into 5, 100 marks will be awarded finally. Then there are 3 parts in the paper: part A, part B, part C. Part A, psychology aspect, psychology questions, 3 questions are there. Part B, 2 questions are from sociology. Part C, 1 question from counseling. But you are required to answer 3 by selecting at least 1 question from each part. කොටස් තුනෙන් ආමාශයෙන් එක් කොටසකින් එක ප්‍රශ්න බැගින් තෝරාගෙන මුළු ප්‍රශ්න 5කට. ඉතුරු ප්‍රශ්න දෙක කැමැති වලින් තෝරගන්න පුළුවන්. සයිකොලොජි ඉතුරු වෙච්ච දෙකෙන් හරි කවුන්සිලින් ඉතුරු වෙච්ච එකෙන් හරි තෝරගන්න පුළුවන්. But you are required to answer 5 out of 6. Okay, so I believe that you have that courage. I wish you that you can do your exam well, and I try to give my full marks to your assignment always as much as I can if you done it well, because මම ලකුණු වලට පෙරේත නැහැ, දෙන්න තමයි අවිලා තියෙන්නේ. හැබැයි deserve නම් විතරයි දෙන්න. හරිද? ඉතින් හොඳට පේපර් එක ලියන්න, සතුටින් පේපර් එක ලියන්න, හොඳට පාඩම් ගන්න, ෂෝට් නෝට්ස් හදන්න, ටයිම් ටේබල් එකට වැඩ කරන්න, එක්සෑම් ෆෝකස්ඩ් ක්වෙස්චන් කරන්න, මගේ රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් අහන්න, රෙකෝඩින්ග් වල උත්තර ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ උත්තරත් එක්ක සංසන්දනය කරන්න, compare your answer with my question. So I believe that you can do your level best. So wish you all the very best for your examination, and not only that, wish you all the very best for a bright future. I know you can do your level best. Okay, so have a nice day and good night, and God bless you all. So again, I will tell you, this is the last session of your course, Sociology and Psychology. So thank you very much for being with me during this 15th session. You supported me a lot. So therefore, thank you so much for your time spending for me. Have a nice day. Good night, and God bless you all.